forum is being recorded. We ask that you keep your microphones muted and video off. Thank you.
I want to welcome to the Candidates Forum for the Stockton City Council, District 6, the League of Women Voters of San Joaquin County, Faith in the Valley, San Joaquin, and the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Stockton are sponsoring the forum. My name is Gretchen Newby. I'm a member of the League of Women Voters, and I'll be the moderator for this evening. A few rules for this Zoom online forum. Everyone but the speaker will be muted, and the chat function is disabled. Members of the audience are asked to keep their videos off. You are able to use speaker view to better see each candidate, and a recording is being made for posting to the League's YouTube channel. The candidates have 1.5 minutes for an opening statement, 1.5 minutes to respond to questions from the panel, and 2 minutes for closing statements. Candidates will be given a 30-second warning and then a signal to stop when the time is expired. The forum is expected to last for 30 minutes. The candidates for this office are Kimberly Wormsley and Gloria Allen. We will now get started with the opening statements in the order that the candidates appear on the ballot. The first candidate will be Kimberly Wormsley.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kimberly Wormsley. I'm a lifelong Stockton resident. I currently live in South Stockton where I'm raising my kids. They are the motivation for my interest in running for city council. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I'm also a business owner here in Stockton. I have served with the Planning Commission for the last 3 years as the chair and vice chair of the commission. As a steward in the community, a listener, and a healer, I look forward to bringing opportunities to South Stockton like unknown. I am really appreciative of the League of Women's Voters and the other collaborators who has set this time for us to answer questions to the community as they're going to cast their vote of confidence. Thank you.
Gloria, would you like to give your opening statement?
She's muted, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I unmuted it.
Okay. Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Gloria Allen. I'm a candidate for the Stockton City Council District 6. I've been a resident of Stockton for over 50 years, and I also have a vested interest in rebuilding Stockton to its fullest potential. The citizens of Stockton they deserve nothing less from their council. I have also been a member of the League of Women Voters in the past, and when I was elected to the Stockton Unified School District Board of Education 2008, that kind of limited my volunteerism being a league member, but I know a lot of the seasoned League of Women Voter members that have been there. As an experienced community activist and leader, I have helped shape the future of Stockton's educational system while serving as a trustee on the Stockton Unified School District Board from 2008 to 2017, and I was termed out. I served as board president for 2 terms. While the school board maintained a balanced budget, I was instrumental in making sure they had a balanced budget as I came out of retail as a merchandiser for Safeway for 20 years. So I also worked for First Five as a parent educator. I have a master's in governance. So I know how government is supposed to run.
Okay. Stop, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I'd like to introduce our panelists for this evening. Angelica Lizarraga from the League of Women Voters and Marky Rojas from the Faith in the Valley. We're going to go into our first question now. Marky will be asking the question, and we will be alternating who goes first. The first 3 questions will be asked by Marky, and then we'll go to Angelica for the last 3 questions. The first question, Marky, goes to Gloria Allen.
Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great day. So, studies show there is a 10-year difference in the life expectancy of those residing within the most marginalized districts in comparison to other affluent districts due to health related issues such as asthma, respiratory issues, and heart disease. So, what is your plan to reduce pollutant emissions from both industrial and mobile sources surrounding our schools and communities?
I'm first.
Yes.
Yeah. So I believe that we have to. I worked with the Chamber of Commerce working on clean air and doing all of the things to keep Stockton safe from the emissions. And I had the first opportunity to ride in a Tesla car, and I think we need to push those types of cars so that we can eliminate some of the pollution in the air with the automobiles. And I, I know that the state is doing what they can in terms of making sure these cars are kept up to date in terms of that. So I would be an advocate to make sure that we go to Sacramento and work with them to make sure that Stockton is on the map for having, our air just as clean as the rest of the city, and South Stockton, and just as clean as the rest of the city in terms of where we live. So I also have another plan to make sure that people that need, we do have a lot of kids with asthma, children that need those breathing apparatuses. I would make sure that we have account of those kids through the school district and make sure that they're the breathing what do you call them, the air pollutants that they need is available to them and their families at a reasonable, if not giveaway cost. So we need to do some research in that area for our students and our families that are not able to attain clean air ventilators and different air conditioners. We need to make them accessible to the filters for their apparatuses for their children if they are having a problem. I know Stockton Unified does a good job of dealing with children with asthma, making sure they have their breathing treatments at school and they're able to be able to take them at the time.
Okay,
I
thank
would be able
you.
to go to the
Thank you. Kimberly?
There's a 3-degree separation in climate between Stockton and North Stockton. A part of that issue is our air quality, lack of trees, lack of green spaces, lack of parks. Not everyone in Stockton can afford to ride in a Tesla, but what people can do is, as a community, we can hold a lot of our farmers accountable for the different pesticides that they use in their agriculture. We can also hold accountability to a lot of the industries on an industrial road. It's just infiltrated with a lot of factories and warehouses, like Amazon. I think that they have an accountability to support in green spaces, community gardens, and last but not least, healthcare clinics. In South Stockton, about 4 months ago, the county closed one of the biggest healthcare clinics in South Stockton, and it was unacceptable. South Stockton deserves a healthcare clinic in order for our families and children to access healthcare services. And that's going to be my first line of action if and when elected. We need to hold these big corporations accountable for pesticides and harmful air pollutants. And we also need to empower the city to have more green spaces in order to filter our air.
Thank you. Marky, next question.
Still related to the environmental. With the closure of Van Busker Golf Course in South Stockton, what ideas do you have that would preserve green spaces throughout these marginalized districts and or increase the property value once the golf course is closed?
And this question is for Kimberly.
The city is already conducting listening sessions in order to revise and revitalize the green spaces of the golf course. And so I know that many of those conversations include community gardens, include opportunities for our youth to exercise and activate that green spaces. McKinley is another historical monument as a park and a green space that the city is doing a great job with preserving and revitalizing. Again, I think that we need to empower and bridge communities to begin to activate green spaces that have been there, like Columbus Park and William Brotherland Park. Let's activate these green spaces and allow more opportunities to expand with community gardens. Again, South Stockton is historical for being a food desert. And so even though it's a food desert, we have a lot of infill that we can vitalize or revitalize. So I'm looking forward to revitalizing green spaces, planting more trees, and beautifying our green spaces through community activism and activation.
Okay, Gloria, you're next. Same question.
Yes. So I'm well aware. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that the city wants to build affordable housing on Van Busker's property. And I don't think that's going to be a good thing for South Stockton. We have enough affordable housing in South Stockton at Conway Homes, because I live right around the corner. I do know that every school in South Stockton that I am on the Southwest Stockton, they have community gardens. I will pursue those efforts because I tried to do that when I was on the school board. And we did have beautiful gardens at Taft, Marshall, and Taylor. But I would like to put a concerted effort into the city or someone to be able to assist work with the school district in order to make these community gardens available. Because there are people that have come to me and they want to do that, but they've been turned down by working together to make this happen in our schools. I also have a person that wants to plant trees. They have trees they want to plant, and they've been given no, you can't do it, or they haven't been given the opportunity to really plant those trees. And they've been coming to me and asking me, what can we do? They're not just open to that because I don't know if they understand what that would do for our environment, but I would be a very good advocate to make sure that this happens within the
Thank you, Gloria.
Southwest. Mm-hmm.
So Marky, next question. And Gloria goes first on this one.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Due to the history of redlining in the city of Stockton, South Stockton has been disproportionately resourced and drastically underserved and underdeveloped. How will you ensure equitable access and distribution of resources from the city of Stockton of allocating schools and communities within your district?
Oh, I would be a very good advocate for that because I have lived in this area for 40 years and I've been fighting for Southwest Stockton to have something for the constituents here. But I don't know, it's just like we're not part of the city. And so I would really fight to have equitability come out to Southwest Stockton. We had a site over there where they were where we wanted to do a community center on Lever and 8th Street. That didn't happen. They said it was an old fire station and they just let it go. So I think that we need to demand, get the forces together and demand that the city take advantage of Southwest Stockton. We have a lot of good things out here. We have the port. We have school over there. They've been continually trying to close that school in order to do something with it. And I would be a very good advocate to try to get the things that we need out here for our people. Like we need a police station. We need to bring it back out here, Western Ranch or somewhere. There needs to be the substations that we used to have. I know we can afford it. We need to realign what we're doing right now. I'm not saying get rid of it. We need to realign it and make sure every opportunity is affordable to Southwest Stockton, and because it's not. I don't know. If
Thank
I
you,
had.
Gloria.
Okay.
Thank you. So
Mhm.
now we go to Kimberly.
I think the goal here is to have a representative that will be an alliance builder. It's time to build the alliances between the state, city, and county, because not only one entity is going to be able to provide the amount of services and support and resources that South Stockton needs. South Stockton has been marginalized since the beginning of its conception, hands down. So it's time to be an alliance builder between our current electeds, state, federal, and board of supervisors. We also need community activism and community engagement, because it's not going to be a one-person responsibility and or job. We need to be activating our community, giving our community back the power. We need to also be really targeting institutions, organizations, local government that has been neglectful in not providing the resources and opportunities that this community deserves.
Thank you. So we're going to move along now to the next three questions, and then Helga is going to be asking these questions on behalf of the League of Women Voters. And the first question, Gloria is going to be given an opportunity to answer. No, Kimberly gets an opportunity to answer first.
What do you see as the most pressing issues facing District 6? What have you been involved in so far in addressing some of these issues?
I think one of the most pressing issues at this point is the historical trauma that communities within District 6 has been enduring for the last, for decades. What I have been doing is, number one, I transcribed and wrote a proclamation to the city of Stockton declaring that Stockton be a trauma-informed city. As a licensed clinical therapist, I will tell you that there are a lot of individuals who go every single day struggling with the impacts of trauma. Children have normalized and become desensitized to violence. That must be addressed. I have provided free clinical services within my private practice to survivors and to children who have been impacted by trauma. And I continue to be a voice for change in that element. Again, this community has been neglected in the sense that we do not have a dental care facility. We lack medical facilities. We lack resources and preventative services for family. And I have been a champion in ensuring that South Stockton is not only on the agenda, but we are the agenda. We set our own rules into, again, shifting power right back to the community.
Thank you, Kimberly. Gloria?
Yes. As you know, I work for Lodi Unified School District, North Stockton Schools, and trauma is everywhere, not just South Stockton. If anyone thinks that South Stockton is the only place that this is happening, I deal with those students every day. I mentor them, I coach them, I counsel them, and I talk to them and the parents. So South Stockton doesn't have the handle on trauma. It's everywhere in Stockton. And it's like this for me. If I look at this serving on the council, I have a house. There's no way I would take care of one side of the house and not take care of the other side. We have to be fair, firm, and consistent about what we need. We need to figure out what each area needs and champion that to get those needs met for those people. I have been very successful in my job working with students and North North Stockton Schools for Lodi School District. And that's been very rewarding to know that I am dealing with a lot of trauma. In fact, I got a call right before this from one of the students. So thank you.
Thank you. Next question, Angelica.
Communities throughout the country and their local elected officials are grappling with issues of race and inequality. Responses have ranged from imposing solutions to efforts to engage all segments of communities in seeking answers. What ideas do you have to bring Stockton closer to a harmonious, equitable community?
Sorry,
Is that my-
first one is Gloria.
Yes, I've been been a champion of trying to bring any committee that I serve on, bring about a sense of equity. And I would do the same if I'm elected to the council, to bring this county, this Stockton together, to work together, because we've been operating in silos. That's why we're so divided now, and South Stockton is so neglected. We have the pot of money. We need to make sure that if you have money and you're spending more somewhere where it's not needed, then you're circumventing yourself. So I would champion and make sure that we have equitable amounts of money that's spent for the services that's needed in each individual Southwest Stockton's, North Stockton, all of these different areas that we divided ourselves up. We have to come together and work together as a team to make your house be just as good as it and sustainable as it can be, no matter what part of Stockton it is, because I love all of Stockton. But I know that we have been, okay, thank you.
You still have a few seconds. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I would really champion that and bring people together. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So we have to have stakeholders and everybody concerned at the table when we make decisions. So thank you.
Kimberly.
We have been neglected in this district because we have never had a voice or a person who actually listened to the people and represented the people the way that we were supposed to represent the people. And I'm truly sorry for that. But moving forward, the next 4 years is going to be about engagement. It's going to be about making sure that everyone has a seat at the table. It is going to take education, listening, and taking the time for people. So community engagement, community involvement, and being active. This race goes beyond November 3rd. What's going to happen after November 4th? And so forth, and moving on. So community engagement, activism, and making sure that equity is enhanced on boards, on commissions, in conversations, through engagement with our law enforcement, our fire department. It's time that we come together and have a conversation about lifting this community that has been neglected for far too long.
Council members are elected by district, but vote on issues that impact the entire city. Do you see any conflict in these two roles? And if so, how would you resolve any conflict?
That question goes to Kimberly.
So I think that a piece of the conflict is that there's so much territorialism within different levels of government, within different levels of organizations. Now, there's no doubt that there has been this marginalization that has impacted South Stockton that we must identify, and we must uplift this community. However, at the end of the day, we are all Stockton. I love Stockton. I love South Stockton. I've lived here all my life. But I think at this point, it's going to be being together as in one, so that we can move not only South Stockton, but let's move Stockton to be great. Not just for tomorrow or the next day, but for decades. Because when we all leave here and we're exiting these positions, we want to make sure that we are building a foundation that will sustain for years and years and years to come. So it's time to work together and not be divisive and move this city forward. And together we can and we will move this district and move this city forward.
Thank you, Kimberly. Gloria.
Yes, I've lived in Stockton in the same house for 40 years. So I've lived here longest Kimberly has been her age. So I have seen the evolution of Stockton. I raised my kids here, and we have been neglected. Because we have not been active, and we only have a handful of people that feel like they have a voice. So they're not going to, it doesn't matter if I don't get involved, but we have to persuade those people or let them know there's something in it for you. Everyone has something to bring to the table, no matter what. And if we keep dividing people and excluding them out, we're not going to come together to have the cohesiveness that we need to make conscious decisions for everyone. Like I said, everyone has to be at the table. We have to find ways to go out there and get with those people and find out what they think, what they want. I know that I've been around long enough to know when I was on the school board, that was my main job, is to bring people together, because you're only one vote. You have to persuade and get people to think like you. And since we've been so divided for South Stockton for so many years, you have to put it on their hearts to know this, we're a part of Stockton. We deserve to be a part of the decision making. We deserve to be sustained. Families deserve
Thank you, Gloria.
wanted to have. All right.
So now we're going to move into the closing statements. Candidates each have 2 minutes to make a closing statement, anything that you wanted to add that maybe we didn't ask. And the first candidate to speak is Gloria.
Okay, I love the League of Women Voters too. We had much fun doing these debates, and I've moderated them too at one point when I was a member. Thank you guys for the work that you do. I know it's it's heartfelt, it's tedious, and it's hard keeping people involved with that, because this is what's going to get us over what we are now. The city went through bankruptcy not too long ago. I served on Stockton Unified's board, and we were pretty near that, but we brought it up. I am a very good financier. That was my background as a merchandiser. I managed $6 and $7 million categories and brought them up to sustainability where everybody was paid. So I feel like I have the experience and the knowledge to do so. I also have the empathy for people, that have been forgotten and feel like they don't have a place. So I want to just say, if I'm elected to the city council, I will serve all people. I will work with the board. I will try to bring people together to make conscious decisions for all parties concerned. I'm just happy to be a part of this. So thank you very much, League of Women Voters, for having us.
Kimberly.
Thank you very much to the League of Voters, Women Voters, and the rest of the organizers who organized this. This was a lot of hard work. Extraordinary times calls for extraordinary solutions and extraordinary leaders. We are living through the impacts of COVID-19. COVID-19 has impacted South Stockton like no other community. We have had the highest COVID cases, period. This district deserves a representative that is competent, capable, and willing to work. I am a licensed clinical therapist. I've worked in the most high-ranking emergency departments in the Central Valley. As the chair of the Planning Commission and vice chair of the Planning Commission, I know the city and I know what is necessary in order to move this district forward. I've spent the last 16 months knocking on the doors, engaging with you all, talking with you all, making myself available to the community, and most importantly, doing something that hasn't been done in this community for a very long time, that is listening. And I hear you all. I hear the voices, not only Weston Ranch, I hear you in Little John Creek, I hear you in Conway Homes, I hear you on Martin Luther King Boulevard, and I know and I understand what you all have been facing. But make no mistake, together we can and we will move this district forward. And it would be an honor for you to cast your vote for me. If you have any questions, please go to www.votekim2020.com. I'm available. I'm here to listen. And most importantly, I'm here to serve.
Thank you. So that brings us to the end of the candidates forum for District 6. And I want to thank all of the panelists and the candidates, Gloria Allen and Kimberly Wormsley, the panelists, Marky Rojas and Angelica Lizarraga, and our co-sponsors, Faith in the Valley and the Unitarian Universalist Church of Stockton. If you have not registered to vote, you can still register. October 19th is the last day. You can register to vote online at San Jose County Registrar of Voters website. Also at that website is a list of 34 voter service locations, which will be open October 31st through November 3rd for in-person voting. And there is a list of 25 mail-in ballot drop box locations in San Joaquin County. Or you can mail in your ballot through the United States Post Office as well. I also want to let you know that the league has a website, votersedge.org, that has information on the 12 state propositions, and candidates have submitted information about themselves. Check it out, votersedge.org, and become an informed voter. Remember, your vote matters. Thank you so much. If you are interested in attending the Stockton Mayor's Candidates Forum, that follows this one, but you're going to need to go to a separate Zoom link in order to sign onto that forum, and that forum starts at 7:30. So we welcome you all and hope you will attend, and thank you again for being here.